Today, I'm inventing merch for 4 different neglected Pokemon, and I'm going to prove to the Pokemon Company that they have the potential to go viral. I'll admit, over the past few years, the Pokemon Company has really stepped up its game when it comes to merch. From Sizzlipede chairs, to Jelly Ditto molds, to even commissioning Toyota to make this Miraidon motorcycle, and also commissioning Honda to build this Koraidon walking thing. But even so, right now, if you were to search the Pokemon Center website and search for Pikachu or Eevee, you're going to get a lot more results than, say, Armoldo. So, I'm going to be inventing merch for 4 Pokemon that haven't quite reached their potential yet. Spinda, Probopass, Nacli, and Aegislash. And also to prove their worth, I'm going to show off a couple of ways where they could potentially go viral. And speaking about things going viral, Kalos Designs recently just posted their Spiritomb make from my Patreon, and since then, everyone's been messaging me asking if I'll make one for them. And while I won't be doing that, I have released a new and improved model. And if you don't want to 3D print one yourself, you can rely on today's sponsor, PCBWay. PCBWay is the place to go if you need anything custom made for a project. And yes, that includes 3D printing. All you need to do is upload your models and select your materials. For the odd keystone, that's going to be PLA Basic, and for all the other bits, that's going to be translucent resin. And for other projects, there's a bunch of specific settings that you can choose, but for my files, they should be simple enough where you can just stick to the defaults. I've used PCBWay for printing in the past, and they've never let me down, especially if you're looking for a completely clear resin print, which is way harder to achieve with classic FDM printing. And I've also used them for other services, such as producing custom PCBs, which was a lot simpler than I thought it would be. And who knows, maybe I'll even use their CNC milling services if I need some custom metal parts made. So if you want to make your project, or someone else's project, become a reality, check out my link in the description. And now, let's start making some merch. To start off, we have Spinda, a Pokemon with over 4 billion spot pattern variations. Well, okay, that kind of depends on the game. There's a whole 45-minute video by Lettuce Leaf if you want to go down that rabbit hole. But when it comes to Pokemon merch, there's only one official pattern that's used. But what if you had something where you can make any Spinda pattern yourself? Well, that's what I thought when I found out that erasable whiteboard material is something you can just paint on. So maybe I can apply this to a 3D print? So first I designed a naked Spinda without any dots. And after spending a whole day printing it out, I got to sanding and used some automotive plastic adhesive promoter to make sure that this stuff sticks. And now the whiteboard stuff. After mixing the parts together, I just kind of slathered down Spinda. And yeah, it definitely looks like a Krispy Kreme donut. But after 3 full days of curing, it was clear and ready for testing. We have the classic Spinda eye pattern, but now I'm going to go a little bit off book. Look at that! I think it's considerably different from the one Spinda pattern that's used. But now the real moment of truth is, can we wipe this all off? Oh, it's that easy, it just comes off! Wow, I was not expecting this to work so well. Holy cannoli. And yeah, with just a little bit of effort, we're back to naked Spinda. That is actually really cool. Now, this is neat and all, but I noticed its shape is similar to another popular character, so if we want to make this thing viral,
I have the world's only whiteboard erasable Spinda Labubu.
I don't know what that means.
oh, sorry, one sec.
Are we still gonna play Mario Kart?
Next up, we have Probopass, and apparently there's some people who think it's a bad design.
Hi, I'm Reed. You might remember me from earlier in the video. I hate Probopass's design.
But I have a soft spot for it, probably because of the magnets. So to finish off the Magnet Rise trio, we're gonna make it levitate.
But wait, there's more.
Because I want to make that beautiful stash something special. And it all starts with this bottle of iron filament, which makes really cool patterns when a magnet is applied. And that's actually what Probopass's mustache is based on. So I'm going to combine the filaments with some epoxy resin, put some magnets inside the nose, and try to apply this goopy mess in a way that still brings out the magnetic properties. And after messing around a bit with the toothpick, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. And after one day of curing and printing out all the other pieces, I can apply even more magnets to snap on the extra noses, and after harvesting this strong magnet, we can finally put everything together. Alright, moment of truth. And yeah, it's a little nose heavy, but it works. And to make this go viral, I don't even think I have to do anything special. I can just let it aura farm. Well, maybe a little fan cam couldn't hurt either. Next up, we have a highly requested Knackley salt lamp. And I'll admit the Pokemon Company did release a salt shaker for Knackley, but I don't think they'd go as far as to make a life-size salt lamp. And I'm not gonna lie, this was a bit more on the simple side, since I just had to design around the measurements of a square salt lamp I bought. But after putting everything together, you have to admit that having a huge chunk of salt inside a Pokedex-accurate Knackley is pretty peak. And in the dark, the glow's pretty subtle, but I kinda like it that way. Now, for making it viral, I heard some certain crystal influencers have been doing pretty well on the internet lately. I can't believe no one told me about this incredible Knackley healing salt lamp. From the moment you plug it in, you can see the energy, you can feel the energy, you become the energy. And whenever I'm feeling down and I need to transform my vibe, I give the lamp just a little lick to get that salt rock flowing through me, and instantly I'm a brand new person. Finally, we have Aegislash. And while I think the Pokemon Company has given plenty of love to this royal fella, I mean, look at this Pokken animation. Its merch could use a little bit more sauce. So I want to make an Aegislash that can actually change between both of its stances, and it would be cool if it contained an actual hidden blade. So after a bunch of designs and redesigns, I had my final pieces. And to make this possible, I made a mixture of PLA and TPU so the arms could bend, and I have this letter opener I bought from Amazon, and of course I used magnets so everything would snap into place. So now you can unsheath the sword, change its stances, and I even made a pedestal for it as well. But in terms of virality, I'll admit that this one's gonna be a bit tough, because I guess it can open boxes, open letters, kinda, and I guess you could eat with it. Wait, hold that thought.
What's up, lords and ladies? Welcome to another episode of Magic and Meals. I'm Harry the Hedge Mage, and today we're going to check out a recipe that's been going viral on the Aethernet, the Forbidden Bite. Got my trusty partner Aegislash here, who's enchanted to ward off bad flavor and bad vibes. So let's get into it. We're going to start off with our dragon sausage, dip it in our halfling hazelnut spread, and finally, some druidic hummus. Let's give it a go. Here's the beast, and now we feast. Well, that sucked. Thankfully, today's sponsor, Irma's Elixir, sent me a mana potion to wash down those bad vibes.
Okay, maybe that one was a bit of a stretch. Special thanks to the lab executive patrons, Ulysses Mora, Jimmers, Marco Carini, Harley Jean, Grandma Watson, Pow Pow, Don Necco, X9 5 times, Zebrmang, Evan Timmerman, Sally and Dave, Jamison Zabalos, and Connor Rhodes.